The story tells of Vincent Omata, a struggling artist living in Gotham City. Told in flashbacks, growing up, young Vincent spends most of his childhood on his bedroom floor drawing for hours. Ignoring his father's advice, Vincent decides to enroll in the fine arts program at Gotham University. In his first year at the university, he is ridiculed by everyone. Even his professor deems him not talented enough to succeed. Over time, Vincent's fruitless toil as a struggling artist causes the relationship to fall apart, ending in his girlfriend Charlotte walking out on him after 6 long years. At present, Vincent is painting the front gates of Arkham Asylum when his supervisor shows up and criticizes him for working slowly. Vincent explains that he needs to do the right thing. When he speaks back and declares that he's an artist, his supervisor fires him on the spot for his slow pace and defiant attitude. Having been fired from his job, Vincent finds solace in a bar, drowning his lifetime of sorrows in alcohol. Despite being intoxicated, he continues to be tormented by ghosts of his past in the form of fiery demons, his invalidating father, his deterring professor at the university, his unsupportive girlfriend, and now his exhausting former boss at Arkham. The bartender confides in Vincent over a shared acquaintance at how he came in to work sick but suddenly collapsed on the job. Instead of listening to her, Vincent gets distracted by a tormenting demon who mocks him for having no money or job, unlike his friend who died but had a wife and kids to remember him by. The demon pushes him to the edge when he mentions that Vincent has wasted his life chasing dreams that are always beyond his reach. Vincent lashes out and yells at it, which confuses the bartender. Vincent excuses himself to the comfort room, but when he is about to open the door, he sees a demon's tail, which confuses him, thinking whether he is seeing things. Trying to brush it off, he's about to light a cigarette when he encounters a pale woman in black clothes and gothic makeup who tries to comfort him. Seeing her, he was quickly enamored by her beauty. Vincent tried to look at the bright side of being fired from Arkham, getting to focus more on his art. As the woman gets closer, Vincent suddenly has the undying desire to paint her portrait and ask her if he can, but his demons suddenly twist his intentions. The goth woman claims she has to go when Vincent struggles to ask her properly. She exits the bar to the sound of emergency vehicle lights and a man waiting for her outside. Wondering whether he would see her again, his demons return to torment him again. Having the woman walk out on her triggered a memory of how his professor ridiculed his work and criticized him for being of no talent. His professor even went on to callously suggest he pursue a more practical career like dentistry given his lack of skill in art. Vincent later staggers back home to a decrepit apartment downtown. Sitting in front of a canvas, his demons show up and disapprove of him spending his last paycheck on booze. The demons suggest he throw out all his art to pay the rent. The conversation triggers a flashback of how he and his father had a massive argument about lifestyle decisions. His father scolds him for spending time painting instead of attending school. A much younger Vincent then explains that he doesn't want to end up like his father, a miserable failure who hates his life and his family. Vincent is saddened at how his father never understood him and never appreciated his art. The demon laughs at him, who continues to blame others than himself for poor life decisions. Vincent takes another look at the hat the woman in black gave him, but a demon hugs him from behind and discourages him from thinking about her, given that he is a bigger failure when it comes to women than art. Vincent remembers the day Charlotte walked out on him. He begged her to stay, but Charlotte feels she's wasted 6 years of her life with him. She claims that although she has supported him emotionally and financially, she refuses to see him wreck himself and his life over his art. Instead of asking her to stay, he arrogantly tells her to go. He tells her not to crawl back to him when his artwork sells for millions and he becomes famous. Before she steps out, she tells him that she misses the man that he used to be. Scrutinizing at how his life turned out, he shoots up on the couch and falls into a deep sleep, only waking to a loud crash. Vincent looks at the window to find the same goth woman being yelled at by a few strangers. He defends her from the window, claiming to have called the cops on them if they don't break it up. When he goes outside to help, he finds her alone while an ambulance and paramedics handle a car crash nearby. The woman wonders if he did call the cops on them, but Vincent explains that he doesn't have a phone and that it was just made up to scare them away. As they parted ways, the woman recognized him as the artist from the bar she met earlier that night and wondered if he wanted to show her his work. Vincent brings her back to his apartment where she wonders why most of his work is unfinished while his demons continue to ridicule him for being pathetic. She claims that he has a gift but notes that there is a spark missing from his work that he may have had long ago and lost along the way. Hearing her say that, Vincent explains how his childhood would be spent hours on his bedroom floor drawing. He describes it like time had stopped and that the only thing that existed in the whole damn universe was the picture. A single moment of nothing but pure creativity to which she responds as pure bliss. Having said that, Vincent proposes again to paint her portrait, explaining that he sees something special in her and would like to capture that beauty on the canvas. He describes her as having exquisite beauty, but with an incredible sadness beneath it, someone so young yet somehow so very old. He claims he's been waiting for this moment, this chance his entire life. After making a grand gesture, she graciously agrees to pose for him. As Vincent prepares to paint, the demons tirelessly try to distract him by calling him names and the many failures in his life, but he forges ahead, ignoring them. As he continues to paint, the demons die, burning out one by one until none remain. When he finally finished the portrait, Vincent was in awe, to which the woman asked if he was happy with it. Vincent claims happy's a small word to describe it when he suddenly wonders why it is still evening, given that he's been painting for hours already. When he went to the window, he discovered that time stopped with the rain and even the clock still froze. When Vincent wonders how it happened, the woman tells him they are both standing in a place beyond time. She explains that time may be a reality for everything else, but it has no meaning to the dead. At the same time, she points out Vincent's lifeless body on the couch, who died of an overdose of heroin hours ago. While still trying to grasp that he's already dead, Vincent later realizes that the mysterious woman is Death, and that she has come for him now that he's dead. Looking at himself, he feels depressed, thinking that his life hasn't been worth much except for the last portrait he had of her. He finds solace in living behind something of real value and feels hopeful that people will finally know who he is with. Out of nowhere, time starts moving again when he hears the clock tick. Suddenly, the apartment catches fire when the ash from the cigarette on his dead hand falls onto some papers on the floor. He attempts to save the painting, but his ghostly body cannot touch it. Having made the finest masterpiece of his life, only fated to burn to ashes, Vincent blames Death for being cruel. Death explains that she isn't doing anything and that the end of his story was already written in the Book of Destiny before he was even born. As the apartment continues to burn, Vincent goes on his knees and begs Death to save the painting as his final wish when he's suddenly reminded of the picture he once drew as a kid. Although a child did it, the character in his childhood drawings resembles Death. Vincent then claims that she has given him an extraordinary gift. Having accepted the fact, Vincent transforms into his younger self and she asks him if he is ready for the mystery of the afterlife. Before Death stepped into the light guiding the young Vincent, she smiled towards the end, suggesting that something good had happened. Later, after Gotham City Fire Department puts out the fire and carries away Vincent's charred body, the firefighters are surprised to find everything was burned, except for one portrait, which is a miracle. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap that bell to be notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.